Now, I know that not everybody who struggles with a porn or masturbation addiction is able to afford working with a therapist slash counselor, going to a treatment group, or working with a recovery coach. I know that for a fact, most guys cannot afford to work with me. So one of the things that I thought I would do for all of you is to help you determine the best sort of group and the best sort of help for you. There is a lot of help out there, and these days there's more and more of it coming out. However, being a part of the wrong group and working with the wrong sort of methodology can cause you more harm than good. So today I'm going to talk about 6 things to avoid, to look out for when you're seeking help for your porn or masturbation addiction or your out of control sexual behavior. The first type of group or system or methodology to avoid is anyone that makes you label yourself as weak or helpless. The reality is that you are not weak and you are not helpless. Every human being is born with the ability to take care of themselves and to pull themselves out of whatever problem they may be in. Now, along the way, we may need help from other human beings because we're not lone wolves. We may need help from people who guide us and help us to get on the right path. People who have seen the movie before and can tell us, hey, listen, at this stage, this is going to happen, so do this. You got this. You have the ability to do this. What any group or method that tells you you are weak or you are helpless does is that it immediately robs you of that innate ability as a human being to help yourself. And that's not what you need. So please avoid any method or any system or any person that makes you admit that you are weak and that you are helpless. You are not. The next type of group or methodology to avoid is any group or methodology that makes you feel that your behavior is a moral issue. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a moral aspect of this, but that is for you to discover on your own. The process of recovery is a scientific process, and that is what needs to be worked on. A lot of times we already have shame and guilt, and a lot of this shame and guilt comes from society, it comes from our families, it comes from religion. There's already such a moral pressure on us. The last thing you need is somebody to make that pressure even more apparent. In my opinion, morality is a very, very personal thing. And in my professional experience, when a client gets to the point that his brain has rewired, when he gets to the point that he can start feeling empathy because he has been through a process where he's made more aware of his feelings, his emotions have thawed out, that client, that man will find himself in a place where he starts getting back in touch with his morals and his values. Many times a man will completely reevaluate the morals and the values that he grew up with and put together a new set of these which work for his life now as a recovered man. The third type of method or group or professionals to avoid are those who encourage you to fake it till you make it. And what I mean is anyone who tells you to just simply stop believing that you have a problem because it's not a problem and the problem will go away. Any sort of system that works like that is something that you want to be very, very cautious of. And the reason I say this is because this is something that actually has biological implications, which means that your brain actually has to rewire, which means that many men are actually medicating real life issues like stress or trauma or strong emotions or some other sort of unresolved issue through pornography and masturbation. You can't fake those things away. However, there are some people I've heard that are really, really good at making it a belief system for you that you can just fake it and then you'll be done with it. that doesn't work. No matter how tempting it might seem to just want to let go of everything and pretend that you don't have a problem, you do have a problem. The problem can be fixed, and there's a system and there's a way to do it. So faking it till you make it, it's not really gonna help you. This is very real. It's having a real impact on your life. The next type of group or method to avoid is any group or method that puts a label on you. I'll give you an example. If you go to a group or you go to work with somebody and you tell them like, hey, I have this problem with pornography and I'm really worried. It's been escalating and I identify as a straight man, but I have found myself recently watching transgender pornography, she-male porn. I found myself watching gay porn, and I'm not attracted to these individuals in the real world. I have no physical attraction to them, but I can masturbate to it. If they ever tell you that, you know what, maybe you should consider the fact that you are gay, or that you are bisexual, or that you are queer, without first addressing the very real addiction, the very real compulsive behavior you have, you should run. That's not a place you want to be. A professional or a method that claims that they're going to help you get out of a compulsive behavior must first focus on the compulsive behavior itself. And that does involve finding out if there are any underlying issues. But if the first thing that they want to do, and I'm just using the gay situation as an example, but if the first thing that they want to do is slap a label on you, that's not the place that you want to be. They haven't taken the time to understand the history of your problem, to find out if your brain simply needs to rewire, or to find out if you need coping skills because you're using porn, masturbation, and orgasm to medicate some other issue that you may have. The next type of group or method to avoid is anyone that has a series of steps that are not clearly defined. This means it's like there's step 1, step 2, step 5, step 6, step 7, and there's no clear way of measuring when you're done with a specific step. And it all seems a little bit disorganized. But one thing is for certain, and that is the fact that there are steps. But you just don't know how to get to a specific step. You rarely meet people who have completed all their so-called steps. The reason why you should be cautious of this, and if possible avoid this, is because you can very easily find yourself in a situation where you are 3 years in, 4 years in, and you're still stuck at mysterious step 4, and you don't know what the markers are to actually move past that step. A lot of times you find men who have been in systems like this and they've been stuck for a long time. They're like, oh JK, I just can't get past step 4. I'm like, what the fuck is step 4? Like, that's not how, you've been doing step 4 for 3 years. That is not how this works. So my point is that life is short, okay? Make recovery a priority in your life. However, there needs to be an end goal. You do not want to be one of those men who say years from now, oh, I've been in recovery for my porn addiction for 20 years now. That's a terrible place to be. This is something that can be taken care of, and multiple steps with no end in sight is no way to do it. The final type of group or methodology you want to avoid is anyone that claims that there is only one path to recovery. Even the porn reboot system is not the only path to recovery. I get on the phone with men many times and I tell them, my system is not for you, but this other system might be a good one for you. There are many systems to recovery, and anybody that claims that there's only one, and if you don't follow their system, you are going to fail, they're not really there for your best interests. They have their best interests in mind. So there you have it. Those are a few things to look out for and to avoid when you're seeking help for recovery from your porn addiction, your masturbation addiction, or any other sort of out of control sexual behavior that you may have. If you found this video helpful, please share it with somebody whom you feel would benefit from it. Subscribe to the channel and do comment to let me know what your thoughts are. I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Have a wonderful day.